What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Del's Corner. We're going to be sitting down with Eric. You may be asking yourself, who is Eric? Well, we get to find that out today. So, hope you guys enjoyed today's content. Don't forget to check out all the additional social media down below. And again, for specifically this video, do not forget to go check out GoodBlend at goodblend.com and get yourself approved for medicinal THC here in Texas. Not only that, do not forget to also check out Texas THC Doctor. They're also going to be able to get you approved as well. So, use those resources how you will. Let's see what's coming up. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Del's Den, and we are here with...
I'm Eric Evans. I'm the Director of Manufacturing at GoodBlend.
GoodBlend. I mean, there's plenty of GoodBlend stuff going on today, and why is that?
Today is our grand opening at our San Antonio location. It is a pickup location. We've been working really hard to get this place to look really nice, and it finally does. And so today we're showing off a little bit and having folks come out and giving some prizes away. And
there's already people coming in. There was people at the door.
It's exciting. We're really happy to see that.
It really is. It really is. The news has come out.
Yeah, we had a senator, Roy Gutierrez, came out, which was amazing. We love to see the support. Getting to educate him on what's going on is really important. He just came out with a documentary recently, so he's definitely in a place to learn, and he's trying to support us in the legislature, it seems, which is nice.
Cool. Well, let's legalize it for sure.
On the road.
Now, what exactly is your role at GoodBlend? How are you a part of this wonderful company?
Sure. So I manage all of the departments post flower growth and pre-sales. So after cultivation handles the flower, it gets moved into extraction and refinement, which is the start of the departments that I run. And I have amazing managers in all of these departments. So I no longer am the day-to-day person that's doing those things. Hopefully you'll get to talk to some of those folks. We do extraction, refinement, production, analytics, all of that, and then it goes over into retail.
Nice. So you're like right in the middle.
Yep, right in the middle of the process. We also design all the formulas, and everything that we've made so far is our in-house team that does the R&D on all that stuff.
Dope. After PTSD was approved, what significant changes did you see after?
There was only a handful of patients who qualified. Most Texans nowadays can qualify on some level of PTSD. There's varying degrees of PTSD, which a lot of people don't understand. So it really just opened up access where your average Texan could really now qualify pretty easily too. There's online doctors now that are very well versed in cannabis specifically that are not necessarily out general practicing anymore. They're just doing cannabis medicine, and those doctors are, able to write more freely now that there's more conditions that can be prescribed for.
Right.
And so yeah, it just opened up the people that we could help. Yeah. And really now it's still just an education thing. People still don't know that medical cannabis is legal in Texas. I mean, constantly I'm running into folks who do not know that it's a thing.
Well, it's not just that, but even personally from my personal experience, where even doctors themselves are telling their patients, well, cannabis is good, but it's not legal here. And I'm like, it's legal. It's legal.
It is. And unfortunately, there's also like a lot of the publications that like cannabis people look to, Leafly, High Times, all of those companies, they're still reporting inaccurately on Texas. And like we've reached out to these companies and been like, you realize that what you're saying on your website's not correct. They're saying it's up to local municipalities and that the legality is all over the place. And it's really not if you're on the medical program. It's all over the place if you're buying flower at a hemp shop and you're driving through Texas and now you're wondering, county to county, how am I gonna be treated? It is gonna be different.
Yeah.
But if you've got a medical card and you've got a medical product, there is statewide training for state troopers on that. They are aware at the state trooper level that it's a thing. In any county, right? Like even if you're in some of the more rural counties, they may have to make a phone call, but you're gonna be protected with a prescription.
Right.
Whereas that hemp stuff, like it really is, like if you get pulled over in an area where it's not good, you could end up in jail that day, for sure. Depending on the cop.
At least just get approved, like.
For sure. I tell people the same thing.
Yeah.
Even being in the industry, I would much rather folks that are using cannabis be protected by having the script.
Job-wise, too.
Jobs, for sure.
For sure. They want some type of documentation, and if you don't have that documentation, well, sorry.
Well, and a lot of people don't even realize, like, if you're on probation or if you want to still carry a firearm in Texas, like, all those types of things have sort of been ironed out. Like, you can have those things for a medical reason, right? Like, if you have a medical reason to be consuming cannabis, you know, a probation officer cannot tell you you cannot take that.
Right.
And we've had instances of that. We have had a patient who was on probation who called in and was essentially like, hey, this probation officer is telling me no. And we had to get our regulatory body involved and iron that out for this patient. And that's the kind of level of stuff we're trying to do still, right? We're really like, if you're having issues, we're gonna help you out as best we can.
Yeah. And I think that's the one thing about GoodBlend that you guys do, is that you guys are dedicated to the people, you know.
We're patients ourselves, you know. A lot of us individually are patients too.
What is your experience with THC? Like, why did you want to get into the company?
So in my early 20s, I developed a bowel disease.
Okay.
And I was working at nightclubs at the time, and a lot of the night staff were using recreational drugs, and a lot of them had cannabis on them. And I was so sick, I couldn't eat, I was losing weight, and they recommended that I try cannabis. And the first couple of times I tried it, like many folks, I was trying inhalable flower and didn't know how to inhale properly. That didn't work the first 2 or 3 times, so like eventually got it and it helped, and it changed my life. So much so that I just, it became a new way of living, honestly, where I wasn't sick anymore all the time. And it was a while before it became my job. Like, it was years before that became a thing, which was cool, right? Like, I would consider myself like everybody else, right? Like, I was a cannabis lover that wasn't in the industry, that would have loved to have been in the industry. And it just worked out for me. I was in pharmacy school at the time that I got into the industry, and then just sort of got out of that and into cannabis full time. Worked my way up.
Do you ever think that you're going to be doing this as a career?
I definitely did not. I was actually an artist, musical theater person. So like, if you'd told me I was going to be a chemist in general, I would have slapped you across the face. I would have been so mad at you if you had said that to me. And yeah, no. So definitely not. And when I started in the industry, it was scary, honestly. Like, this was 7 years ago, so the industry wasn't totally new, right? Like, Denver or Colorado and, you know, Washington and California were definitely all very mature markets by then. And we were just starting to see markets like Florida come online. I wasn't sure what it was going to look like, and if I was making a career decision that was too risky, right? Like, is this going to overnight change in such a way that all of the choices I've made are going to put me in a bad place financially, right? That's everybody's fear, right? You always want to make decisions that are making you safe and secure. But this ended up being a good decision for me, and it's been hard, and it's been hard work, and it's been challenging, but it's because it's always coming back to patience, and because there's always a moral center that I kind of always come back to in working in cannabis. All the hard stuff kind of becomes not that important, you know, because you have this big overarching drive of like, yeah, I'm working in cannabis and I'm bringing this medicine that wouldn't otherwise be coming to people to them. And that, it does smooth out a lot of the kinks and a lot of the speed bumps that you hit in this industry, which can be really frustrating.
Right.
Yeah.
I can see in your position being able to reach thousands of people on a weekly, on a daily. That is insane. Like, that's the level that I want to be at, and you're there. And I want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody that you wanted to be able to thank?
Honestly, this has been kind of a journey of my own. Like,
Thank yourself, man.
yeah, I gotta thank my own, like, chutzpah that I had, right? Like, it was ballsy. It took a lot of guts to kind of be like, I'm gonna abandon a traditional career path and just kind of go this direction and trust myself. So yeah, it is easy to forget how many people were helping and how I kind of was my own biggest advocate there and making this right decision, right? And it's a good lesson, right? Like, you got to trust your gut sometimes and really just go with it, even if everybody around you is saying, I don't know, that might be risky. Like, this was a good call, right?
The road is hard, man, but
especially when it's something you know, right? Like, this was something that I was using as medicine myself. So for other people to be like, I don't think that's medicine, I was like, well, you're wrong.
Right.
Well, you're just wrong.
Right.
So, like, I know, and you don't, and you'll know someday.
Would you say that brought out the best of me? Would you say that the medicine has brought out the best of you?
I would say that it allows it, right? Like I would say that it clears the path for me to be my best self. It doesn't necessarily like hold the reins and pull me in a direction. It just opens the path.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Totally agree. Because some people, like myself, like to know the back end.
Yeah,
Who's
absolutely.
a part of the back end? Because I feel like that you guys don't get enough love because you guys are the ones that are actually putting in the football.
Hitting on something called a lab rat. We're the lab rats. We're used to being, you know, in the background and, you know, not really in the forefront. But that's okay. Like we know that's our role, right? And that's cool, and we're fine with it. We're very happy to let those people at the front that, you know, have that high charisma drive, that can talk to people really well.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, it's a different skill set, right? And that's not necessarily the person that's really good in the lab with all the science stuff is going to be the most talkative and charismatic person. So it's good to let everybody kind of be in their strengths and go where they excel.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate you coming on, brother. I mean,
Absolutely.
It's been an amazing conversation. If there's anything that you wanted to be able to say.
Everybody should try GoodBlend in general. We work really hard on the stuff. Everything that we make is really meticulously made and tested, and we do a really thorough job of making sure that y'all are gonna have a good experience. So, and we try really hard. If you're not having a good experience, you let us know, and we will do everything we can to accommodate it. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, again, don't forget to go check out GoodBlend at goodblend.com. If you also need to get approved, yes, you can get approved there, but don't forget Dr. Shaw at Texas THC Doctors. And it's also Mental Health Awareness Month. So if this is a time for you to be able to try anything, I think being able to try to get approved is definitely one of those types of things. But if you guys need anything else, again, all the additional social media is down below. And appreciate you coming on in, brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.